Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentlemen podcast for Thursday, March 25th. I am your host, Scott Labrie. Joined alongside me, as always, we have Tyler Sunt.
Hello.
Hello, sir. And we have Eric Deshane here as well.
Hello.
What's up, boy?
Nah, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
It's March 25th. That means 9 months till Christmas.
Oh, stop it.
God.
It
It's already March and this year is crazy already.
is. This year's
March is almost over. Yeah.
going by so fast.
Yeah.
I like it though. Fast.
Mhm.
Where snow's pretty much all gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to come back a little bit in April, I imagine. Just
Like always, yeah. A big 2-foot snow dump.
yeah,
Make roads shit.
and then get it on like May long weekend for whatever retarded.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
today we're going to be talking about sports. It's a touchy subject around here because we are nerds, and but you know, I like sports. I like watching some sports. I should say. And then we all have, some different histories with sports. So I guess we'll kind of go into like what we watch and what we played as a kid. I guess we'll go with what we did as a kid. I guess for me, it was soccer in elementary school. For the most part, tried t-ball when I was a kid, and I don't know, was just bored of it, I guess, like that. And which is weird because I remember going to my grandparents' house, and my grandpa was like good at making stuff out of wood and stuff. And he actually made his own baseball bat for me, and I remember hitting dingers in the backyard. So I was like, I probably should have been in baseball, but I guess maybe my parents or I was just against it or something like that. But never did that. I did 1 year of curling. Absolutely hated curling. It was so boring. And then did football as a young teenager, and a couple basketball practices as a teenager, and that's kind of about it for my playing career.
You never actually played basketball in school?
And that is my biggest regret, because now I am so hardcore into basketball, but back in high school I did not care about basketball, which is
wow.
Now thinking about it, I'm like, God damn it, I should have been into basketball as a kid, and I would have been Steph Curry by now or something.
Oh, God.
No, probably not, but maybe on a G League team, though. No, not even that. But what about you guys? Did you guys play sports growing up? Imagine you did.
Oh, I was kind of forced to. I had no interest in sports.
Come on,
I'm I'm 6'4", and I was forced to play sports just because of my height. And we're from a very small school. Our biggest class in recorded history, I think, was 26 kids in one class.
Yeah.
And they saw me coming into junior high, and they're like, "Hey, you're playing basketball." I'm like, "I don't want to play. It doesn't matter what you want. You have to play basketball because everyone on our team is average height of 4'9". So we need you in there." And I'm like, "Ugh, this sucks." Whatever. So I did it. I did all through junior high. My mom coached, so that was interesting. I won't get into that.
Oh, then, that's why you had to do it, because she was the coach.
Well, yeah, kind of. And then when I got into senior high, I didn't want to play. And then our teacher at the time, a very influencing Mr. McGilvery, he's like, "You playing basketball this year?" I'm like, and he's like, "Practice is next week." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "No, you're not going to think about it. You're just going to do it." So, no, actually, it wasn't him for grade 10. I think it was Mr. Portis. I think
it was Portis back then.
I think it was Portis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of told me the same thing. And then volleyball, I was forced to play because I was tall. I could block. I could hit, not too bad. And then with Mr. M's training, I became pretty exceptional player. We made it to provincials, I think, every year.
Every year, yeah.
Yeah, we were a rock star team,
big
time. And I was just kind of like, this is whatever. And then it always drove my parents nuts because I just didn't give a shit. I'm like, man, if you dedicate just a little bit. But then once my brother Jason came into grade 10 and we were on the same team, everything changed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa. I'm the MVP. What the fuck are you doing here? And then we just tried to score each other and whatever. And yeah, so that's about as competitive as I got. And then I played basketball. I was in track and field. Track and field I didn't mind, actually. I liked track and field. I liked running. I didn't expect to like running. And I also plan on joining the military. So I wanted to do a lot of running so that I would be ready to join the military. Oh, that should have been in my episode yesterday. The disappointing. That's another disappointing thing. But anyway, so many hopes and aspirations. But anyways, I liked running. I really liked throwing events, but I fucking sucked. My arms were about 1.5 inches in diameter, like a very skinny, long arm. So I guess I had the leverage for throwing javelin.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. Didn't have the heft or the meat to launch them like I wanted to.
Discus. That was my thing.
Discus was fun. Yep. My arms definitely helped with that, but there's still like guys with beer guts that could throw 8 times farther. So there's not much I could do. But I do remember fondly in high school that I was in high jump. I would make it to zones in high jump, and I'd get destroyed then. And triple jump, I was guaranteed to go to zones because I was the only one that would ever compete in it at the first level. And then once I got there, I was like the shortest distance triple jumper on the whole competition. So it was just kind of an excuse of like, do I want to go to zones this year? I guess I'll do triple jump.
You gotta skip a day of
hang out. Yeah, and other people try their hardest, and I just hip hop, leap, and whatever. It's so stupid. I hate sports. I don't understand it. The running was okay.
It's so frustrating. You saying you're 6'4". Like, I'm just thinking like, man, you could probably dunk a basketball if you tried hard enough.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I could.
If you were,
I
you could.
I used to. Oh yeah.
Oh fuck, man.
I know.
I'm
I
so
know.
jealous.
And you can see my my parents' frustration.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I have good memories of us playing volleyball, Tyler, but yeah, I know it's...
Yeah, some of it was pretty fun. It depended. Like, if it was like an exhibition game where we were just playing for fun, or it was like during gym or something like that, it was pretty fun. I played a lot of slow pitch. That's another thing. I played years of slow pitch, like softball. That was... I just went there just to get wasted and play ball. That was fun. That was fun. The actual competing part was no fun, but...
I think I kind of the same, like, mindset when it came to sports when I was in school, because I was a nerd in junior high and high school, and then I played some basketball practices, and they're like, all right, we gotta do this play and blah 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 blah, and like at that time I was just like, dude, why don't we just like dribble the ball, and like why do we have to do a play? Like, we're just in fucking shitty ass small town Alberta basketball. None of us have a chance of going on to like a college career. Let's just like have fun and play. But but they didn't want to do that. But so at that time I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, that was my mentality too. Like what you were feeling, that's how I felt, except that I was actually playing against my will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got conscripted.
Yeah.
And then we have the super athlete, Eric.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, unlike you two, I have a long history with athletics. Like, pretty much since junior high, I played whatever sport I could. So, like, thankfully, our school never had cuts growing up. So it was always about just being part of the team. So, like, the first couple of years of playing was mostly volleyball. All I really played, all I could play really was volleyball. I was just part of the team. Mostly didn't play too many games. It's mostly exhibitions. Just kind of got used to sports. But by senior high, though, was when I started to play more actual official games and play more with the team on the court and everything else there. So that was a big improvement then, and it was fun. And of course, having the legs, you have to only play the back row. So pretty much came in to serve, play 3 positions, then got subbed off again right away, right? So except for the odd time where Mr. M we would forget that was up and going up to the attack line, and I'm like, Mr. M, I can't really block. Thankfully, the ball would miss or go short or something, and I would just get subbed out right away. I'm like, oh shit, thank God, that would have been bad.
See, and it was the opposite for me. As soon as I came off the front row and I served, Mr. M would sub me out right away because a spike would come through, and I would deflect the ball into the crowd every time. I couldn't bump, I couldn't set, I couldn't do anything. It was
So all through high school was just libero, subbed out every now and then, and then the big thing for me was after I graduated, I got enlisted into playing for Team Canada Disabled Volleyball.
That's right.
I became a professional athlete, first one from a leg ever, actually. And the big thing with that was Ian always said that if one of his players ever went pro, he would come and watch us compete at the stage. And I got drafted to play in, I want to say February of 2008, 2009. Was it 2008? 2008. And by August, I had to be trained and ready to play at the Paralympic, which is the Paralympic Games for the Western Hemisphere. So it was North America, South America, and the whole hemisphere itself, right? So against like Brazil, US, Costa Rica, and so within 6 months, I had to become an athlete to a new sport, which is it's not regular volleyball; it's called sitting volleyball. So it's court smaller, nets lower, and everyone sits on the ground and plays. So really, the sport I was like almost made to play. It was great. So I moved from someone who's really easy to move around on the floor, on the court. It wasn't a hard stretch for me to play this game. So right away, I became like a top athlete. I was libero, and because everyone else wasn't as disabled as me, they both either had one leg or had both legs or missing another limb, and they couldn't really move as fast as I could. So I was their go-to guy to play, right? So, and I had a great time playing with that. We ended up winning bronze at the tournament. Unfortunately, it was a Olympic qualifying tournament. So you needed to win gold in order to go to the Paralympics, which we didn't win, unfortunately. We lost out to Brazil in semis, and they ended up winning all the way to the gold to go to the Olympics for that, unfortunately. But
I'm a celebrity in the house.
But that was my life from 2007. So it was 2007 to 2011. For 4 years, I was on Team Canada Volleyball, and with the 2 Paralympic tournaments, got bronze at both, and never got higher than that. Never got to go to the Olympic level, unfortunately. I always wanted to, but then by 2011, I was having terrible burnout. Like some of the teammates I was having a hard time with. Every other weekend, I was going up to Edmonton to train or to Calgary to train.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was getting tough to keep playing. So I wanted to have a bit of a break. And after that, a friend of mine, fellow teammate, was also playing rec league sledge hockey. So that was another thing I wanted to try. So I went to one of his practices and kind of practiced sledged and played hockey. And that was one thing where I grew up around hockey. I always watched hockey growing up and knew about it, but never actually could play it. So it was a new experience for me with that. And then, I was by the next year, I got my own sled and sticks and gear and everything else. I was playing rec league, very minor level, very entry level. But then the year for that, I was on the B squad and trying out for Team Alberta and played like that for 6-7 years. I was trying out for Team Alberta every year, played a couple of years with them, and I had dreams to go on to the national level. But after playing against some actual national level athletes, it's a steep learning curve to get to that level there. And I was on track to hopefully get there at one point, but then COVID hit and bit of a slowdown now for that, unfortunately, here. So now I've gained a lot of weight and a fat sack of shit, and I'll lose some weight and keep trying again, I guess. But now, so now it's off season, but still, it's I've had a long history with sports, and I know I come off as a bit of a super turbo nerd, but I am quite the sport advocate.
He's a super athlete. What did I say?
Yeah, I try to be, but yeah.
But like, so for you is like, have you felt like a want to go back to volleyball at all, or?
Definitely, yeah. I still desire to go back there heavily. I that's the one sport that's always been my go-to sport. I love hockey, and I do want to go on with that too. But volleyball's always been my favorite for that, and I do want to get back into it one day.
Is it still like at this point, like, I don't know, like, does age play like a huge factor in it? Like, now?
Not so much, no.
No.
Like I remember when we went to Worlds in Oklahoma in 2011. The team that was in the finals was Iran and another country I forget. But the average age of both those teams was mid-40s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like there was nobody younger than 30, 35 on those teams.
Wow.
So like it's mostly about how you are able to move, more or less, in sitting volleyball. Like we had one guy on our team. Yeah, we had one guy on our team. His name was Greg. We called him Giant because he was actually 7'2".
Oh shit!
This guy was huge. His head would go past the net, sitting on the ground. This guy only had one arm, so his one right arm. But he was this massive attacker. He was always our middle blocker because he would just be a wall right in front of there, right? So, but it depends. It depends on that. And like for me, I was double amputee, so for me, it wasn't no trouble for me to buzz around the court and pick up balls in the back row, right? So. So it just depends on what level of disability you're at and how long it is to play. Because I know when we play too, we have one teammate, Jose. He was, I think he's 55 now. He would have been in his 40s playing with us then back in the day, and he still was able to keep up no problem with us then too. So,
wow.
So yeah.
So like you still have connections, like you could still possibly get back to that.
Yeah.
That
I'm still keeping with some teammates and still keep in contact with them. Yeah. No, so keep up with that, and yeah. So one day, hopefully here, but that too, they suffered bad from COVID hit too as well, and
right
now the program's kind of hit and miss, and so yeah. But hopefully one day I want to get back into it, and hopefully I didn't burn too many bridges when I left, but you never know. So yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
could do a little documentary on you.
Getting
back.
It's all right.
Game. Let's do it.
No.
Eric Deshane goes to the Paralympics.
All day Deshane.
All day Deshane.
All day Deshane.
There you go. Yeah. That's the title of it for sure. Yes.
So yeah. It. And but yeah, so I have a few medals. Most highest one so far is bronze on Olympic stage. Been Brazil, Mexico, London, the UK, US, back and forth. Traveled around the world doing that, so it was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and then so that's my passion. I hope to want to get it back again. Yeah.
Our listeners are going, holy shit. Yeah, that's so cool. I remember hearing Tyler was like, yeah, he went to the Olympics, which Tyler totally got wrong. But,
yeah, I mean,
I was like,
right.
what?
He's half right. I got half right
up there.
It's Olympic level. It's not the actual Olympic stage. It was for Team Canada, the Olympic stage, but not the.
Yeah, I remember learning that. I was like, what? That's insane. Like, how do you not like say that immediately when you meet somebody for the first time?
I'm not that kind of guy.
I was on Team Canada. It's like, oh shit.
Right?
I know. So yeah, and then that's my main ones, but I mean, I also one thing though, I will say, as much as I like to play at sports and be involved with it, I'm not one to actually keep up with sports. I'm not one to follow the NHL all the time or basketball or any of the sports. Like, I'll watch it every now and then. I can watch it and enjoy it, but I'm not one to follow up on it like hardcore like you or like Scott with basketball, right? So yeah, that's one thing. That's one conundrum I find with that. Like, I love hockey, I love all that, but to not watch a game every night, it doesn't matter to me.
Does it change? Like, for me, I'm kind of the same way. I don't like. I'll have. I'll keep tabs on hockey and stuff like that. Like, but unless my team's Ottawa Senators, so it's been a while since they're in the playoffs, and it's gonna be a while till they're back in the playoffs. But for me, that's kind of like the only time I would watch hockey is come playoff time for my team. Are you kind of the same way? Like, if Oilers,
playoffs. Who's in playoffs? I'll watch playoffs then, but regular season stuff, like, if Sports Center's on at work, I'll watch Sports Center and see how they're doing. But like, I have coworkers who can talk hockey for hours. I'm like, players' names, sure, I don't know. I'm not one. McDavid, that's one right now I have in my head. But yeah, it's otherwise who's on his line, how they're performing. I don't know.
Yeah. And Tyler, you do not watch sports at all.
Yeah. Could not be bothered.
And I'm like I'm not the exact opposite. Like, I watch Toronto Raptors. That's it. Like, I would keep tabs, of course, on the NBA as a whole and stuff, and what other teams are doing and stuff like that. But like, I'm not like a hardcore basketball fan where it's just like, I'm watching, 3 games a night or something like that. I got like NBA League Pass. I don't do that. But yeah, like Raptors, I'll watch them. Blue Jays when they were good back in 2015, 2016. At that time, I was also working at The Source. And we would have the TV on, and we could only have sports on the TV, essentially. And, the Blue Jays play at 11 a.m., 1 p.m. or something like that. So it's just like, and they have 162 games in a year. So you're like, I watched a lot of baseball working at The Source. And it worked out at the right time, because that 2015, they made like some awesome trades, and they went to the playoffs for the first time in my life. That was the one thing why I never watched baseball, because the Blue Jays sucked for my whole entire life. They won the World Series when I was 1 month old, and that was 1 month old, and that was it. They weren't in the playoffs again until 2015, and then I guess we can kind of go into like what are some of the greatest like sports moments that you've ever witnessed.
I've said it multiple times, but I remember the '98 win with the Bulls watching that on TV.
Oh, The Last Dance.
The Last Dance, yeah. So I love that show. I remember watching that on like live. I'm like, holy crap, that was awesome to watch. Yeah, that what will stick in my mind for a long time.
Yeah, that'd been cool.
Yeah. That was
Definitely
cool.
awesome to see. Yeah, for me, like I'm not watching sports like till much later in my life, really, that I started caring about. The Ottawa Senators going to the Stanley Cup Finals was pretty awesome back in I think like 2007, 2008. To just get their ass handed to them by the Anaheim Ducks, which sucked. Then you had like 2015, the Jays going on to face the Texas Rangers. You had that fucking insane 7th inning where Russell Martin throws the ball back to the pitcher, but it hits the batter's hand and it like flies off, and Texas like scores a run and nobody knows what the hell is going on. Does that count or whatever? And they say it does count, and fans are chucking shit onto the field. We're getting pissed off. We're like, we're getting screwed over here. And then the next thing comes on and we're like, oh man, we hit a ground out. It's like, but nope, they fuck it up and they screw up, they get an error. Next one, same thing. Like, oh, here goes, double play. Nope, they screwed up again. They dropped the ball, and they were like, dude, this is insane luck right now. And then Jose Bautista comes up to bat and hits the freaking biggest home run I've ever seen in my life. Tosses the bat in the whole, like, that. I like go on YouTube and watch that moment every now and then, just like listening to the crowd, like, just goes like, like they just explode when he hits it. It is like, holy crap. And you just see like the camera just like vibrating like super hard because they're just going nuts. That was amazing. And then of course you had the 2019 Raptors playoffs.
Yeah,
you had them. They rolled right through Orlando. First series, second series, super hard fought battle between them and Philadelphia 76ers. Goes to game 7. You have Kawhi Leonard hit the shot, buzzer beater, game 7, only buzzer beater in game 7 in the entire history of NBA. And it bounces on the rim 4 times, and you're like, oh, god damn it, it's not going in. And then, by the grace of God, it goes in, and you'll have a meltdown. It was so amazing. And then on to the next round, they played Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks were favorites to win the Eastern Conference, and they won the first 2 games, and it didn't look good. But then the Raptors just like swept them 4 games in a row after that. And we're like, holy shit, we're going to the finals. First time ever. But we have to go up against the Golden State Warriors, who are looking to win their 3rd in a row. But hey, we have a chance because Kevin Durant is injured. And we win the first game and we're like, oh boy, we got a chance. Oh boy. And then we're leading all throughout the second game. And we're like, oh man, this is awesome. But then we choke it away at the last second. And we're like, fuck, it's 1-1. We're not going to win. And then Kawhi Leonard says in the locker room, like, fuck it, we're going to get both games. And they got both games on the road. And we're up 3-1. And we're like, we just need one more win. We're going to win. And game 5, going back to Toronto, we're going to win on home court. And then they say, Kevin Durant is back for the series. And we're like, no! It's over. The best player, like, on the best team. And he ends up hurting himself again. And I cheered. Then we find out that he tore his Achilles, and then it's like, oh, I shouldn't have cheered. But it was at that moment we knew. We were like, yep, we're going to win. And then we didn't end up winning that game, but the game after, game 6, we did. And I cried. Tears of joy.
What game was it where it's like the buzzer beater at the sink the basket? Like, was that game 6? I forget which one it was, where like it hit the rim right at the last second to the buzzer beater. Then like everyone was stopped. Then it felt like winning at the last second.
Yeah, that was game 7 against Philadelphia.
That's what it was.
The one that hit like the rim was like bounced up like 4 times
everyone
on there.
Stopped. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was a fun one to watch. Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah.
And that's why I personally love sports. It's just for those moments. You suffer through all the crap, but eventually you'll get to something amazing that's like made your commitment all worth it right there.
Yeah.
What about you, Tyler? What's your greatest sports? But you probably don't have one.
Sorry, I just yawned. What were you guys talking about? The greatest sport moment?
Yeah, that you've ever witnessed.
That I've ever witnessed?
It could be one you participated in, maybe.
Mhm.
It will be all the years that we won the Stollery Children's Hospital fundraiser paintball tournaments, and we annihilated every year. We lived long enough to be the heroes to be considered. No, how's that speech go? Live long enough to become the villain.
Oh
we were heroes, lived long enough to become the villain. So the first year we went, we just had like our semi-auto guns. And it's a 5-on-5 match, and we were going up against like some vac truck company employees. We were going up against another dealership, and we went up against the police department. We went up against EMT services. We went up a whole bunch of other teams, and we just absolutely destroyed all of them. And so every year, the announcer was like, "Oh, the Tornado Gangsters are back again. Can anybody take them down?" I never came up with the team name. That had nothing to do with that. And this year we finally had some jerseys that we got on discount. They were triple XLs, but I mean, whatever. At least we all had the same outfits this time. We destroyed again. And then the third year, I think everybody was training, like actually training.
Oh, really?
So there was one team, I think it was an oil field employees. They were called Dem Chunky Boys. They were called. So it was like these overweight kind of guys. And they came out and, man, like, they were learning from us. They're like, "Man, how did you guys flank us? How did you do blah, 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 blah?" I'm like, all you had to, like, we were giving them all tips and tricks, right? Because we watched YouTube plays, Team Russia against Canada, and we were watching, like, the U.S. on how they play and the different flanks that they do and stuff. Like, see, now that I was really into. I was so into paintball, big time. And I remember becoming, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like I was getting so good that I was getting called. The ref would blow the whistle. So basically, when you're playing a game and it says, "Okay, semi-auto only, no auto, no e-triggers, and no ramping." So ramping is basically like if you have a speedball gun, you're rocking your trigger, and there's like a little solenoid inside the gun that will actually like activate the paintball every time you pull the trigger, like timesing it by like 2 or 3. So you're essentially shooting about 24 paintballs every couple seconds. So it's just like a laser beam of paintballs. So they don't want you doing that, especially at a fundraiser, right? There's no need for that, for people to be going home with 97 welts, which we still did anyway. But anyway, so I had my Tippmann 98 custom, which is just a basic Walmart special paintball gun. And I was shooting that thing so fast that they kept calling the whistle, thinking that I had an E-grip, which is basically an upgraded trigger. There's like a bump stock, so every time you pull the trigger, you just hold it down, and the stock bumps back and forth, so it's like a full auto. So they thought I was shooting full auto, but I wasn't. And like I would just come out, just lay cover fire. We'd move up and flank. So we were telling these guys, them chunky boys, like how we did it. Like, okay, so we start firing, and I would like hold down 2 people, keep them behind cover, while Zach or Ben or Brent or whoever would like run up the front, and then he would start firing, and I would move up again, and we would just basically pincer maneuver. That's all it is. It was just simple little techniques, and we would just clamp them down, like basically funnel them into a group, and it's a fucking turkey shoot. You just light them up, and plus they were bigger too, right? So I mean, they were easy targets. And then me, all I had to do was turn sideways, and I disappeared like a sheet of plywood. So and they started picking up on it, and then I think honestly, like they were all training, they were getting like way better, and it was a tough year. But we almost felt bad because everybody hated us so much because we took it so seriously, and we wanted to win. Like, and there was a TV crew that was out there for this show. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. I've never actually watched it before, but it's called My Mom's a Medium. It was the CMT Canada show. Oh. And they came out and had a team to play.
What the fuck?
We never played them because they were out almost immediately. They got shredded so bad. We're like, "Oh, what are they doing here? Like, this is brutal." So we ended up playing, and then the 2 teams that ended up giving us the most grief that was really close was the RCMP team and the Dem Chunky Boys. And I think Dem Chunky Boys ended up beating the RCMP, if I remember correctly, and it was just us after. And I felt really bad because deep down I wanted them to win because they were like so passionate about it too, because they never really were into paintball. They just did it because, oh, we can drink after, and it's for a good cause, whatever, right? We're raising money for this really good, company, and we ended up winning, and everybody was like, "Boom!" We're like, "Fuck you guys, yeah!" Fucked them all up. We were like the token villains every year, and then they unfortunately stopped holding the fundraiser. I think they were doing it somewhere else, but it was at Young Guns paintball course in Spruce Grove, and I looked forward to it every year. It was so much fun. And then they always had like a really big shindig after, like you go off to the Beaver Lodge or whatever it was called, and they have like free drinks and a free dinner. Like you get like a prime rib dinner and everything. And oh yeah, it was such a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it was awesome, so good. And then we went to a couple of speedball tournaments after that, thinking that we were something. Man, were we not? That was brutal. Had to take a bath with those like that foamy bath salt stuff to relax your muscles.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, my girlfriend at the time, it counted, I had 73 welts, and they were like not just the little ones, they were like purple and brown monster welts. I got lit the fuck up so bad. It was bad, man.
Jeez.
That's a whole nother level of speedball games. And these guys were in muscle shirts, and we didn't even hit them. And we're all shooting, like ramping speedball guns. So, but yeah, that I was proud of that moment. When we ended up winning, I was a little disappointed that we won, but I was also pretty excited that we won again. Undefeated champions, the Tornado Gangsters.
The Tornado Gangsters.
Yeah. Good times.
I got one more.
Go for it.
Say. Mine's really easy.
Let's do it.
I've held the Stanley Cup 3 times in my lifetime so far.
Wow, brag about it.
Yeah, I will brag about it. I am really happy about that. Yeah, I saw it twice in on display, and then I did a photo shoot with our hockey team the one time, and yeah, I sat right beside it, got to hold it and touch it again. I'm like, fuck, I've touched the Stanley Cup more than people I know. Sweet. So yeah,
that's cool.
That's the one for baseball, right?
Yeah, I'll flex on that one. Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No,
that's pretty cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's one of your profile pictures on Facebook, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of them. That's the one actually at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, guess what? I ordered a replica Raptors championship banner off Amazon. It came in today and looked pretty cool.
Gotta be.
Wow.
Wow. Well, there you go. What is your awesome sports moment that you witnessed? Put it in the comments. Message us on Facebook on it. I want to hear kind of what you see. But yeah, if you like the episode, like and subscribe here on YouTube. Do that whole thing, and like and subscribe on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know what to do by now. And yeah, that's gonna do it. We'll be back here tomorrow for the weekly wrap up on Friday. Have a good day.
Good day.
See you guys.